Hello there. Welcome to Dead Comic Society. I'm Robert Klein. Tonight we've got Mr. Visual Wit and Mr. Verbal Wit squaring off in a look at petty evil. Buster Keaton and Robert Benchley are here to get to the bottom of this crime thing. Our first entry is Buster Keaton's 1924 fantasy, Sherlock Jr. Yes, this is the one where he walks up to a movie screen and jumps right into the movie, like in Woody Allen's Purple Rose of Cairo. It's one of the most wildly imaginative films ever made, whether 1924 or 1990. So, naturally, it was dismissed by the critics at the time as dull. And, that's right, unimaginative. I'll tell you how Buster walked into the screen, but you have to promise to keep it a secret and be real smug about it. What he did was he lit the action on stage to look like it was a movie playing in a theater. He made it look flat and two-dimensional. When the backdrop changes, however, that's a movie projected on a screen. Very clever and fairly seamless. When Buster originally got the idea for the film, he thought he could give his old pal and mentor, Fatty Arbuckle, a break. So he hired him to direct. Arbuckle had been treated like a leper by the Hollywood community since his 1921 scandal, and he was unable to find work even behind the scenes. It's unclear how much Arbuckle contributed to the picture because it just didn't work out, and Buster had to fire him. It's one of the most painful decisions Buster ever had to make. The father of the girl in the movie is played by Buster's dad, Joe Keaton. It's one of his meatiest movie roles. Although Buster and Joe became estranged over the years, Buster steadily employed the vaudeville veteran. Watch carefully in the scene where Buster grabs onto the water pipe from the train. As the pipe slowly descends, a torrent of water comes gushing out. Buster underestimated the power this water would exert on him and sent him smashing down onto the train track. A dozen years later, Buster had some x-rays taken. The doctor took one look and asked, "When did you break your neck?" Well, Buster thought back to this scene in Sherlock Jr. He asked if maybe that was when he broke his neck. "It sounds like that could be it," said the doc. Buster replied, "Yeah, I remember having kind of a stiff neck back then." Can you imagine? Stiff neck. Buster Keaton broke his neck for your entertainment pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, so the least you can do is enjoy Sherlock Jr. And I've got 3 more films to follow, so maybe you ought to settle in. Before there was comic relief, before there was Live Aid, there was The Stolen Jewels, J-O-O-L-S. Why, I don't know. The short is modestly billed as possessing more prominent stars than ever appeared in one feature. And it really does. It was made in conjunction with Chesterfield Cigarettes to benefit the National Veterans Administration. You'll notice a nice blatant plug for Chesterfield's about halfway through. The premise is that Norma Shearer's jewels were stolen at the Screen Stars annual ball. A series of attendees is questioned about the case. The world of comedy is well represented. Wallace Beery, who you'll see here in Buster Keaton's The Three Ages, plays the police chief. Buster himself plays the deputy and takes a nice pratfall. You'll also see the funny but forgotten team of Wheeler and Woolsey gabbing at the lunch counter. Irene Dunn, star of many sophisticated comedies. Little Billy, hero of the all-midget western Terror of Tiny Town. Jack Oakey, who you'll see again in Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator. Our gang, up to their usual stuff. Joey Brown, who you might remember from Some Like It Hot, doing his famous holler. And the incomparable Laurel and Hardy. It's a fun look at a slew of stars, but don't try to follow the plot. After The Stolen Jewels, we've got one of those great Buster Keaton shorts, The Blacksmith. So see how many stars you can pick out, enjoy Buster, and join me on the other side.